Started. My last in power rank is number 32. I said the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm 2-8 now. Kept them the same spot from last week. Bottom two haven't moved, as you can see. Giants are still 31. We'll talk about last next spot. Raiders they're just struggling. They're not that good. They just gave up big games. They just gave up big loss. They lost with 15 to the Dolphins. Dolphins offense finally got a little going since they got back to they struggled. Offense did good. Their defense struggled. It's just Raiders aren't good. They're tanking at this point. It's just are they don't be able to get a high pick, or they don't be able to get a good quarterback because there isn't that many good quarterbacks in this class. So yeah, number 31. I got the New York Giants. They're 2-8. I kept them at 31 from last week. They did they lose? They played? Oh, they didn't play this week. They had a bye. That's right. Okay, never mind. They didn't play anybody, so they still the same record. But hey, get on them. You didn't lose. Kind of hard to lose on your bye week, but you didn't lose, so that's good. You did bench Daniel Jones, and Tommy DeVito's gonna be your starter by sounds of it. Then Drew Lock's gonna be back up. Jones to be your third stringer. So that pretty much 100% confirms they're releasing Jones in the offseason. Like they wouldn't bench him. Like he's getting paid way too much to bench him and keep him for next year. So he's gonna be gone. Hopefully, and hey, you can get a lot cheaper. Sucks like paying Jones cost you Barkley to a division rival, but it happens. Number 30, got the Jacksonville Jags. They're 2-9 now, with them down a few spots from 27 last week. I considered moving them down even to the bottom just because they got obliterated by the Lions. So it wasn't even close. Like it was close early, but that's really not very long early. So yeah, but just the Giants and Raiders, I just feel like have less talent and are worse teams versus the Jags. I feel like they'll be doing a little better once T-Law gets back from his injury. I still don't think they're doing any good. And their season's over. They're gonna have for sure have a losing record now because they have 9 losses. So the best they can do is 8 wins. Jags are just not doing too good. Pearson will be gone soon, so you can try to get a new coach. We'll see who they try to hire in off season now. Number 29, got the Carolina Panthers. They're still 3-7. I kept them at 29 from last week. Pretty sure they had their. I'm pretty sure they also had their bias. Their bye this week. Some double check. Yep, they had their bye this week, so they didn't play. So we'll see how they do this week. Maybe they can continue their winning streak to 3 games. First time in a while since they've had 3-game winning streak. It's gonna be tough, especially since it's against the Chiefs and their team coming off their first half of the season, the Chiefs. So I'm sure Chiefs are gonna want that win big, especially because the Bills now in the tiebreaker. They Chiefs to get the number 1 seed have to have at least one more win than the Bills. So the Chiefs aren't going to be wanting to lose very much. Well, obviously they wouldn't either, anyways. But especially now with the Bills right there. So yeah, we'll say the Panthers too. But either way, they're not that good of a team. Number 28, got the Cleveland Browns. They're 2-8 now. I moved them down a couple spots from 26 last week. They play tomorrow against the Steelers, but this last week on Sunday they got blown out 35-14 by the Saints. Gave up a huge game to Taysom Hill, but it does seem like Taysom Hill always has a good game, at least one really good game in fantasy every year. But yeah, it's tough. But hey, you're close. You're getting a higher pick, and they trying to make your team better. So, but they're not good. Number 27, I got the Tennessee Titans. They're 2-8 now. Even though they lost, I moved them up a few spots from 30 last week. Part of the reason was some of the teams that I had ahead of them before are just so bad. I felt like they were doing so bad. The Titans didn't move up. Titans were, if it wasn't for some bad count, I'm Vikings fans, and I think there were some pretty bad penalty calls. They might still lost Titans, but it definitely didn't help for sure to score because there was one personal foul against the Titans that shouldn't have been, and got and the next the coach also got personal foul on that same play because arguing it, but it shouldn't have been. So I agree with him arguing it, and they literally got a touchdown the next play. Literally. Few pass interference calls that you probably couldn't have. And like your one of your back tackles, Isaiah Prince, had a lot of I think like 3 illegal formations penalties, and one of them got brought back a 50 something yard touchdown catch. I don't know the exact one. I know it's 50 something. But yeah, you lost, but it felt like you did good enough. And he did have a 97 yard touchdown pass from Levis to Nick Respic-Akune. So yeah. Number 26, I got the New England Patriots. They're 3-8 now, with them up a couple spots from 28 last week. Yeah, they also lost just like the Titans, but they kept it close against a team that's getting a lot more healthy than the Rams. Drake May's looking good, so that's why I moved them up. And same thing, Titans, just other teams did so bad, or to the point where I think they deserve to move down. But yeah, so good. Drake May looking good, but also your Patriots are not that good. Like, do you want to have a high pick if Patriots still you can draft somebody good? If Drake May keeps up playing like this season, we'll win them some games. So we'll see what happens. So for this side, let's go to top 25. 25, I got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 3-7 now. And then down one spot from 24. Yes, they lost badly to the Texans, so they could, but I just didn't think anybody behind them to good enough to move up in front of them. So they only moved down one spot. The only team behind them before that I thought did good enough to move in front were the Saints. I don't think anybody else in the bottom slide did good enough to move up front. And Cooper Rush is not looking that good, but just it tells you that how little confidence they have in Trey Lance. If they with Rush's struggles, they're not even really putting Lance in at all. They did have a funny play where their offense fumbled the ball twice on one play. Cooper Rush fumbled it. Then I think Tyler Guyton, one of their Hoover, I think Tyler Guyton wears 60. Hoover wears 60. I think that's Guyton. Then picked up the ball and tried to run with it. Then somebody forced a fumble on him. So Texans had 2 fumbles, but they're for fantasy wise, their defensively got credited once. Don't see that a lot every day. So yeah, number 24, got the New York Jets. They're 3-8 now, moving down from 21 last week. Out of the year, I've been trying to keep them high, or like not too low, I should say. That's better because I haven't got them really too high because they've had a lot of struggles. It's just they're bad. Rodgers isn't that good anymore. They just fired their GM, but firing your GM isn't to make a difference in season really, especially after the trade deadline, because then your interim GM can't even trade for anybody. You're not going to sign anybody good at this point, and yeah, so yeah, and now it sounds like their owner Woody Johnson said wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers week 4, but the coaches and GM pushed them back, and they didn't. I don't think Tyrod Taylor would have done much better, but you never know. Tyrod Taylor is a good backup QB. But either way, Jets are done for the season. Number 23, got a team that's kind of potentially keeping their season alive. I wouldn't say for sure because they're still are down a deep hole. I get the New Orleans Saints. They're 4-7 now. With them up a couple spots from 25 last week. Their new head coach is 2-0, so good on him there. Especially after losing to the Panthers. Then it sounds last game. So yeah, Taysom Hill had a great game. So yeah, you won, but it's also against a bad Browns team, so it's not saying a huge ton. But yeah, good on you guys going to win. Number 22, I got the team who beat the Jets. I got the Indianapolis Colts. They're 5-6 now. Moved them up one spot from 23 last week. Yeah, they beat the Jets, but they only beat them by 1 point. They beat them on a late game-winning touchdown, so they could have lost. Anthony Richardson looked a little better. He's still not looking great, but he did better. But good, you guys getting the win. Got pretty much knocked the Jets out, playoff contention, and you kept your hopes alive. Because if you lost, you'd be 4-7, and that's pretty tough to come back from. Number 21, I got Chicago Bears. They're 4-6 now. Moved them down through spots from 18 last week. They lost. They almost beat the Packers, but their last second field goal to win it got blocked, which sucks. But also, like, if you're Matt Eberflus or a coach, like, why aren't you being a little more aggressive, trying to get more yards, can make the field goal attempt easier, or even just make sure you're in field goal range and go for a few touchdowns. Like, you obviously don't throw any risky throws, but if you don't like it, just throw it away. Try something more aggressive. Don't want to draw up the middle and then let the rest of the clock run out, then call your timeout when you had at least over 30 seconds. Like, why not use that clock to try to get more yards or even a touchdown? So yeah, number 20 got the Miami Dolphins. They're 4-6 now. With them, I kept them at 20 from last week. Yes, they won, but it was against a bad Raiders team this year and by 15, but they still won. It's just I don't think they're good enough to move up any spots, but they're good enough to move for the Bears to move down below them instead of Bears keeping above them. But yeah, good Dolphins gonna win. You're still second in the division because you're outside the Bills. The AFC East is absolutely horrible. So yeah, number 19 got the Seattle Seahawks. They're 5-5 now. No, a few spots from 22 last week. They had a surprise upset over the Niners this week. Late game winning touchdown, but I think he rushed it in by Geno Smith. So yeah, good on Seahawks going to win a big in Division One. The NFC what the division is very much in the air. Like the Cardinals have 6 wins, Rams have 5. Let me just look. Five wins. Niners have 5 wins. So like this is very much up in the air. So we'll see what happens. But you never know. Number 18 got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're still 4-6. With them down one spot from 17 last week. I consider moving them up just because they are going to begin. They hopefully we get Mike Evans back this week. We don't know for sure because they play on Sunday. You never know for sure till the Friday because that's when they rule out or put guys questionable. So that's when we know for sure. But they said after the week 11 bye, he'll probably be back when he got originally injured. So we'll see what happens. That's the big addition there. It's just I thought the team that with the lost few spots. I can't remember exactly how many is on there on the next side. Did good enough to move up in front of them, so they moved down one spot. So yeah, number 17. I got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 4-7 now. I moved them down one spot from 16 last week. I consider moving them down more. It's just if it wasn't for bad kicking, they would have won the game most likely. So that sucks. You still lost. Your offense is looking great, but your defense is so bad. That's like most games. Like if you face a good team, your defense can't hold up, and it doesn't matter how good your offense does because your defense can't get enough stops. But yeah, Bengals are done. So yeah, number 16, I got the Atlanta Falcons. They're 6-5 now. Moved them down a few spots from 12 last week. I think they're my biggest mover down because they got absolutely blown out by the Broncos. Bo Nix is looking better, but still, like, get absolutely blown out. Like, I think it was 38-6. Yeah, 38-6 by the Broncos. Yeah, Kirk's Cousins signing has not worked out that great. So yeah, but your division, you still can can very much win your division because you swept the Buccaneers, so you got that tiebreaker. The Saints are still 4-7, so they're still well under 500. The Panthers are nowhere near making the playoffs. So yeah, you still have a pretty good chance of winning your division, but I don't think they're that good of a team this year. So yeah, let's go to the top 15. Number 15, I think they're my biggest mover this week. I got the Denver Broncos. 6-5 now. I moved them up from 19 last week. Yes, you don't really see that this big of a mover up or this late in the season, but they destroyed a good. Still, the Falcons have had some struggles this year, but they're still a good team. Still, Falcons are contending for the playoffs, and they blown them out by 32 points. Like, Bo Nix is looking good. So yeah, Broncos are looking like a good team. We'll see if they end up making the playoffs. Number 14, Got the LA Rams. 5-5 now with them. I kept them at 14 from last week. They won, but they were pretty close to losing to a not that good Patriots team. Yeah, they were getting more healthy, but still, they have a lot of their guys back at this point. But still, they with a mostly healthy team for a team that you expect to make the playoffs. You should be beating the Patriots by more than that. But yeah, still good on the Rams getting a win though. Number 13, I got the LA Chargers. They're 7-3 in hell. I moved them up from 15 last week. They beat the Bengals. Could have been a lot bigger of a win for them, but they almost allowed the Bengals to come back. But they got a late touchdown by J.K. Dobbins to win it. So they still won. Harbaugh's doing great in his first year. Herbert's looking good. So yeah, good on them. Getting another win and having 7 wins. So yeah, good on them. Number 12, I got the Arizona Cardinals. They're 6-4 still. Moved them up one spot from 13 last week. So yeah, they had their bye this week, so they did play. They still got the lead in their division. And if the Niners won, they still would have because they did beat the Niners earlier this year. But hey, good on them. They are going into a big in division matchup this week against the Seahawks on Sunday the 24th. And they have a big game against the Vikings the second first. They did end up getting flexed up here, thought they would, but didn't. And then they faced the Seahawks again. So they got 3 straight big games, like 2 big in Division 1, and then 1 just for playoff seeding once it comes to the year. If it comes to that. Yeah, good on the Cardinals. Not losing. And still winning record. So yeah. Number 11. Got the Washington Commanders. They're 7-4 now. They're down from 7 last week. Another big mover down. Like, Jay Daniels is struggling more of late. It's just, like, he's been struggling against these good defenses these past few weeks, which I understand. Rookie quarterbacks usually do struggle. But still, it's just, you would hope with how good of a year he's having for you, they find a way to win one of them. He lost the big innovation one this previous week to the Eagles. So it'll be a tough one. But the Commanders still are a good team. Number 10, got the Houston Texans. They're 7-4 now, with them up one spot from 11 last week. Yeah, they beat the Cowboys pretty convincingly, but there was a Cowboys team with Cooper Rush in at quarterback. So that's not saying a ton, but he still got a big win, so good on them. Joe Mixon looked great. I know, because if got face him in fantasy, like, going into Monday night, I'm like, okay, there's a decent chance I might win this. Then Joe Mixon just went off, and I looked up, and oh no, I did not win. And I also had to use their Texans defense who did good. I still lost. Yeah, good on the Texans getting the win there. Getting back on the winning side of the game. Number 9, got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 8-2 now. Moved them up one spot from 10 last week. Yeah, they beat a good team in the Ravens. As you see, the Ravens in my top 5. But it was a close game. No offense to Steelers, they still managed to stop it. It helped stop that last late 2-point conversion by the Ravens when they had no wide receivers to the end of the field that Jackson Lamar was running to. And then they also didn't have their power back in Henry, so you kind of knew they'd probably be passing it. But hey, he still won. Still beat a good team. But Russ is not looking that good lately, so that's part of the reason I only moved them up 1, even though they beat a good team. And also, the top 10 teams are all close. So it's kind of tough to move up teams that much or down too much. So yeah, number 8, got the San Fran 49ers. They're 5-5 now. I moved them down from 6 last week. I considered moving them down more, but if the Steelers, if Russell Wilson had been still looking good of late, I probably would have moved the Steelers up in front of him at least. It's just because Russ a little bit struggles. I feel like Niners are a better team than the Steelers, with their records. But dang, Niners are struggling. Nobody thought the Niners would be 5-5. Kind of see that having all these deep playoff runs these past few years and not winning a Super Bowl kind of hurt them. But seriously, making the Super Bowl means so close in overtime. But yeah, number 7, I got the Grand Babacas. They're 7-3 now, with them up a couple spots from 9 last week. Good them getting a win, but you won because of a blocked field goal, which is still a win, but you'll rather not have to rely on that to win a game. But good on them. Yeah, Chris Tomasin had a good game with that long touchdown. Not it wasn't a touchdown, but it was close to a touchdown. But yeah, number 6, I get that our NFC North team. I got the Minnesota Vikings. They're 8-2 now. I moved them up from 8 last week. It was close. Like what I put them is because they won, but they only beat a bad team in the Titans by 10. Like they faced the Titans and Jags these last 2 weeks, and they've only beat them by a combined 15 points. Like two bad teams. Like if you think you're gonna be playoff contender, you should be able to beat them, but a little more than that combined. Like maybe not 15 in just one game because most NFL games are close. But it's also the Vikings. They always play like outside the first couple weeks this season. This last few years, they've always had close games. Wins like they rarely have a blowout win or loss. Unless it's 2022, where all their losses were losses, except for the playoff game. But they're still an A-2, and they only face the Bears. But the Lions are looking so dang good. They might literally have 11 or so or more wins and not even win their division, which does happen sometimes, but that's rare. And even 11 wins probably won't even be close to the Lions. Because actually, let's look at their schedule. Let's do their schedule. Let's see how many winnable games they got. So they got the Bears twice. Those both probably you should be able to win both of them. But best for sure one of them. You hope. So there's let's go just 10-2. Then Cardinals. I feel like that'll be a win as well. So that's 11. Falcons. It's probably gonna be a good game just because it's Kirk's comeback to Minnesota. I feel like that should be 12. I mean, yeah. Then you should be able to see the Seahawks. But then the final 2 weeks, you got the Packers and Lions, two good teams. So like, I feel it's the Lions one. They're gonna lose. As a Vikings fan, I think they're gonna lose. I would love to say they won't, but I just think they do. Then the Packers one, they'll probably lose just because the Packers want a huge revenge for losing to them earlier this year. So, but we'll see. So yeah, let's go top 5. Number 5, I got the Baltimore Ravens. They're 7-4 now. Moved them down a couple spots from 3 last week. So yeah, 2 of the top 5 teams in these rankings lost, but they lost to 2 teams near the top. So I didn't move down too much. So a tough loss to the Ravens. Like that 2-point conversion at the end of the game that looked a little weird, but it was still a close game. The Steelers are looking good. Now this coming week we got the Harbaugh Bowl, Monday Night Football. They face the Chargers. So yeah, we'll see which Harbaugh brother wins. I don't know if the Harbaugh brothers ever faced each other after the Super Bowl, but they did face each other in the Super Bowl over 10 years ago. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with the Ravens. Number 4, got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 8-2 now. Them up 1 spot from 5 last week. They got a big individual win against the Commanders. So good on them there. Their offense is looking back on track. Definitely helps when you're more healthy. But hey, you're still looking good. Your defense, Quinyon Mitchell is looking really good for them. Yeah, good on the Eagles getting our win. Number 3, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 9-1 now. They're down from 1 last week. There now are no longer any undefeated teams left in the NFL. Everybody has at least 1 loss. So congrats to the 72 Dolphins. You will still be the only team to end perfect in the regular season and postseason. So yeah, that game was a close one. Like Josh Allen really had a big rush at the end to seal it. So yeah, Number 2, I got the team that beat the Chiefs. I got the Buffalo Bills. 9-2 now. Moved them up from 4 last week. So yeah, they got a big in-conference win against the Chiefs. We'll see how it goes in the year, because these last couple years now, they beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but then they lost to them in the postseason. So it's just like, we've seen that it doesn't matter if the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. Like, all the Bills care about, a lot of people care about for the Bills is, can they beat the Chiefs in the postseason? Like, that's what matters. Like, you showed you can beat them in the regular season, but can you do that in the postseason? But hey, Josh Allen's looking like the MVP frontrunner potentially now. So yeah, number 1, I got the Detroit Lions. They're 9-1 now, with the number 1 spot from 2 last week. So yeah, they absolutely blew out the Jaguars. They ended up ending Gabe Davis' season. So yeah, sounds like Alex Anzalone's out to at least for the rest of the regular season. So that's a big loss in their defense. But they've had some losses already this year. Hey, it doesn't seem to affect them a ton. They do have Jack Campbell. They drafted in the first round, 23. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, Anzalone's he's a big leader on their defense. Already don't have Aiden Hutchinson. So yeah, the Gun Lions, they deserve to be number 1 at that blowout loss. Win, excuse me, even if it was against a bad team. So yeah. Hey guys, that's it for this Power Rankings. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.